I'm so excited to be here. We are chatting with the voices from Curvy Girls Can't Date Point Guards, and I'm just going to let them introduce themselves to start off. And why don't you guys tell us a little bit about you and the role that you played in Point Guards?
Hi everyone. My name is Patrick Jean-Jacques. I play Terrell, uh, and I voiced the character from Ohio, so it was really nice to be here and meet you guys.
Very cool.
And I'm Courtney Encheff, and I voiced the character of Sadie. And I'm recording from California. And yeah, I loved the book. I love all the books.
Yes, so Courtney has narrated several with us, and this is Patrick's first. So I'm really curious for both of you, like, how did you get into narrating books? Is this something you saw yourself doing when you were younger?
Hmm.
I always wanted to be like a cartoon voiceover. I always wanted to be like a cartoon character and do movies or shows. So I was in conversation with somebody, and I think we were just talking about our dream jobs. And they actually, when I told them that, they actually asked if I'd ever considered doing audiobooks. So that kind of like lit a light bulb off because I have three kids and I don't have time to like go somewhere to work because I'm always back and forth. So I looked it up to see if that's something I can do from home and learned how to do it and never looked back. I love it. So,
That's so cool. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's like, I want to do a cartoon. Like,
oh
you meet
yeah.
people who want to be on screen, but I think that's so
Yeah.
cool.
I feel like I relate to Sadie in that sense. Like I think like I was telling my husband, I'm like, I wanted to do cartoon stuff because I don't want to be seen or like the attention. I love like the fun of having a script and acting and performing, but I don't want to like I don't know, do all the like social stuff. So
Yeah, I feel like that's the best of both worlds.
exactly, yeah.
Very cool. Okay, what about you, Patrick?
I was in the medical field, and I like to do impersonations of doctors and
I
and
love
stuff
that.
like that. And people are always like, "Hey, you have such a great voice. You should do this, this, and that." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's really nice of you to say, but." So then I was like, maybe voice acting is cool. I'm introverted, like she was saying. I was like, I like to be behind the scenes instead of out in front of everybody. So I started doing a deep dive on voice acting, narration, and all that stuff. And long story short, here I am.
That's so cool. So how long have you both been doing the voice acting?
I started in 2019. So I was reviewing yesterday to kind of prepare for today's questions. And I checked, and you were actually my fifth audition that I ever did. So
Cool.
you have like been part of my journey from the very beginning. So
Oh,
Awesome.
yay.
thank
That's
you
so cool.
for
You
choosing
have
me and
tons
bringing me in.
Yeah, you have tons of, like, credits too, so I thought you had just been doing it forever. You're so
Yeah.
professional and, like, great to work with.
I've done a lot the last 5 years. Yeah, but you were one of my first. So
Oh, yay. Cool. Okay, what about you, Patrick?
I've been doing this for about 2 years. Yeah, just started like 2 years ago. Pretty fresh into it.
Nice.
And full of jobs. I did indie video games,
Oh,
uh,
yeah. That's
other
cool.
kids' books, and some stuff like that. So just like hodgepodge of different projects.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that kinda leads me to my next question is, like, how do you decide which books that you want to narrate? Like, do you have a preferred genre or, like, people that you like working with, or how does that work?
I so I've tried to like audition for different things, and I got nonfiction books, and they were about taxes and life insurance, and I was like, let's branch out to fiction so I could. It's hard to sound exciting about talking about taxes for hours and
Mhm.
hours. So,
Yes.
uh, yeah. So then, yeah, fiction is definitely my favorite. As far as more specific, I don't know if I have a specific fiction genre. I think I like a lot of the adventure stuff, so that's cool too.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar. I think in the beginning, I auditioned for every genre and have done pretty much every genre and definitely have chosen which ones I prefer. And I think not fiction for sure. I think the science fiction and fantasy is fun because some of them I get to like be a princess or the things like the little girl dreams, which is fun to be. But then I also love the young adult stuff because I feel like it has the innocence, but it still has like the emotion and the like realness and stuff. So
Yeah, I love YA. I feel like there's not a genre where like there's so much character growth and that it's expected as in the YA genre, you know?
mhm.
That's true.
Very cool. So what like I've never narrated a book before, obviously. So like what does that process look like for you from start to finish?
So I usually just do like a quick skim of the book. Just kind of start off getting to know the characters because you as the author will tell us about the characters, even what they wear, what they look like, all that different stuff. So um, start off with that, get the baseline. Okay, where's he from? Where the characters are from? How do they act? What they're thinking? And luckily, it's easier for audiobooks because you guys tell us all that information anyway.
Mm,
So then just go to the booth, start recording, proofread, then edit, and then submit.
very cool.
Yeah, yeah, I'm basically the same. I just submit the audition, wait and see if I get it, do the little 15-minute checkpoint to make sure I'm pronouncing the characters' names correctly, see if there's any adjustments before I do the whole thing. And then I do one chapter at a time. I'll record it and then I'll go back and listen to it and make the edits, take out the mistakes and the different sounds and go back and forth because I didn't realize before I started all this how like physical talking for so long is. So you need like I need a break for my voice to like drink water and have ludens and stuff like in between chapters instead of just going for so long. So and it makes it go by like faster, I feel like too, having like going back and forth between recording and editing. So
That makes sense. So like how many hours of recording can you do in a day?
I have been doing a lot lately. I have a really long audio drama I'm working on, and we're on like chapter
Oh my gosh.
1890. Like it's like the
Wow.
never ending book.
Yes.
So they want me to do a lot. Um, so I think as long as I can go back and forth and don't go nonstop, I could probably do maybe I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours. But if I were to go nonstop, I think I could only go for like an hour and a half, and then I would need to stop for my voice.
Mhm.
That's about the same for me too. Like I'd have to maybe like even less, like 3 hours a day. But then if I'm trying to run through it all at once, I could get to an hour and a half, maybe. But that's
I
about
totally get that. We had our first launch party on Friday, and we were on for, like, an hour chatting, and I was like, "I have never talked this long in my life." So I have total respect for for that amount of work. That's amazing. So how do you guys work with the other voice actors? Like, do you reach out and try and chat, or are you just more, like, focused on your own scenes? How does that work?
Um, I I've always just done like record my part and send it in, and then even some like cartoon things that I've done. I always thought you're all in a room together and you all like play off each other, but you have to. I don't know if it's always like this, but all the ones I've done, you have to kind of just like imagine them saying their lines and respond, and then it's always fun at the end to see it how it all gets put together. But yeah, I
Mm,
usually don't know until the very end what the other person sounds like or how it's going.
that's cool.
that's about the same with me too. Like she recorded some lines first, and then I was like, let's go hear what she sounds like. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's how I kind of interpret the character to sound like. But like she said, like I have to imagine what they would say and how I would respond and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's a very, like, solitary profession.
It can be.
Yeah. So how do you decide on the specific voices for each character?
Um, it's I don't know. It's I kind of play along, play around with their voices. Um, like I said, like you as the author will tell us, hey, they're from this area, and then you kind of fill in the blanks with what you would come up with. So like as for Terrell, he's a basketball player. So I'd be like, okay, I've played a lot of basketball. Who or what do they sound like? And I kind of leaned into, like, I'm originally from New York, so I kind of lean into a more New York accent, but not too much since he's not actually playing there. So a lot of it just comes from the experience that you have, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think the same. I think it's kind of like stereotypical, but in a good way, like different movies or shows, how the guidance counselor talks or how the teachers talk or motherly, you kind of just, if they remind me of certain people, then I'll kind of try to mimic how they talk. Usually the more masculine guys, I try to do the deeper voices, and the more feminine girls, I do higher pitched, and younger is higher pitched and older is young, like deeper. So just kind of like a, like I was gonna call you Terrell, like Patrick said, just kind of like playing around with what seems like it makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think like part of from the author side of it, when I'm looking at your auditions and stuff like that, I think like, oh my gosh, that's how I picture Terrell. Like, especially for you, Patrick. I was listening and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So some of that I think you must come by naturally. Okay, so the next question is, what was your favorite scene from Point Guards to narrate?
This one was very hard for me. I re-listened to it so it'd be fresh in my mind, and I was like, "Ugh, there were so many good things. But I ended up thinking chapter 17 is kind of like where things kind of change in their relationship, and so I think that was really fun for them to kind of like be vulnerable with each other, and for her to realize like that there are guys out there that are thoughtful and that like can treat her right, and I don't know, all the heartwarming, like good feels ones are fun for me to read. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like I'm blanking on the chapter number, but the one where they're on the beach. Spoilers.
I know, I wasn't sure how much to say.
You can spoil
And there's like a scene where they're just messing around with crabs, and then they start bantering back and forth, and I was like, that's nice. It's a nice addition, or a nice part of the scene.
Yeah, that was fun.
I was so glad you liked that because I was definitely like giggling to myself the whole time I was writing that. And I was like, I hope someone else will find this funny. So
It was funny. I was genuinely laughing.
I like that.
I was like,
okay, that's good because that's like in my family, we like give all of our pets different voices and like talk for them and stuff like that. I don't know if you do that ever.
I'll do that with my dog sometimes.
My husband does that. I don't personally, but he does.
No, that's so funny. So the voiceover actor does not voice over at home. That's so funny. Okay, well, that's good to know. Was there a scene that was like difficult for you to narrate?
For me, I feel like there's a few different things. One of them is it was like towards the end of the book, or maybe the middle end, maybe like chapter 20 in the 20s, where she, again, I wasn't sure how much to say with this, but I'm allowed to do spoiler. Okay.
Yeah.
So he asks her to the dance, and she says no, and he's like so hurt, and so for me, that's hard because I'm like internally wanting her to say like, say yes, like what are you thinking, what are you doing, like, but I'm supposed to be the one telling him like no, like, so it's just like so opposite how I was feeling. So that, and then the other parts are obviously, I think almost every single one of your books have a part that like make me cry like in real life. So I'm like, part of it I'm like, oh, maybe this sounds more real, but also it's kind of like, I don't know if this sounds really bad because I'm actually crying, so I have to like kind of hold it in, like do the right amount of tears. So those are kind of hard for me too.
That's funny.
Yeah, that top of my mind, where they're at the party and then they, basically walk away from each other. I was like, man, why? I was like, there's got to be a solution to this. And then the solution presents itself, and I was like, well, that makes the most sense. I don't know why I never. But
That's brilliant.
yeah, but that scene was hard because I was like, it's such a gut punch. And then the rest, I feel like I had trouble editing the chapters after that because I was so quiet for
No.
Courtney, and I was like, I need to speak up. I need to get back into it.
All the feels. That was definitely hard for me too. I was like, no, it has to happen. But
All right.
Yeah.
that's so funny. Okay, so this is kind of a fun question. Where all have you recorded? Like, do you have any fun places that you've recorded audio?
Do you mean as far as like locations or like voice jobs?
Yeah, like locations. Like, do you have a special place in your house that you record all of these or?
Yes. So I'm actually in my closet. We had like a his and hers closet. I called it a walk, like a stand-in closet instead of a walk-in because it's like 4x4. So we took all my clothes out and ripped out the walls and put like soundproof foam in there and turned it into like my studio. So I still 5 years later don't know what to call it. I'm like my office, my studio, my closet. Like I don't know what to name it because it's like my closet and my studio. But yeah, it's my like personal space and I love it because like I said before, I'm an introvert and I have kids and it's like silent in here and my own
Yes.
space. It's like my she cave. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I have 3 kids too, so I totally get the need for, like, peace and quiet.
Yes.
I have a spot in one of I guess it's the office, and I have a PVC booth with moving blankets all around on top, carpet on the bottom, and that's basically it's just like around four by four too. So that's where I record. It's a little dark in there, uh, just because of how it's like really sealed off, which is surprising to me because it's just moving blankets. But um, yeah, that's why we're not in there right now because I was like, it's gonna be really dark here.
Yeah.
It's too dark. Did you build it
I don't
yourself?
Yeah, a lot of YouTube, a lot of research, and I was like, this probably work. So
That's
mm,
amazing.
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know if these little sticker light things would work in there, but this was my favorite part of my thing is that I can like change the colors and the brightness and like
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
awesome.
cool.
I love it in here. So I'm trying to find the color changing one, but
Yeah.
it just makes it fun to work. So
Yeah, I
That's
maybe I'll
awesome.
try to go back to the white one. I'm
It's
lost.
a
Okay.
disco over there.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
party.
woo! Yeah, I could do the like changing colors thing too.
That's so funny. Okay, so I have a couple more questions, but if you're watching and you want to ask a question, drop it in the comments and so we can get to it. Okay, so my next question is for Courtney. Since
Mhm.
you've been with me for so long, which book of mine has been your favorite to narrate?
Okay, so can I pick three? I'm
Sure.
like, I was like, again, kind of reminding myself and reading the summaries of all the books. I'm like, every current one is always my favorite because it's just like, I love it. I love it. So this current one, Can't Date Point Guards, I feel like in every story, there's things I can relate to as well, which makes it more like personal and fun. So I relate to Sadie in the social anxiety stuff, but my daughter is just like Terrell. She's a senior in high school. She's actually out of college right now for 2 days, deciding like if that's the one she's considering.
Oh, wow.
But she's varsity of the basketball team and has been every year she's played in high school,
Oh
and she's a
wow.
point guard. So she like there's just like it's like her, and so it also was kind of helpful to hear the chapters from his point of view about like the mom, talking about college and stuff and the pressure of like school and figuring it all out in the future and stuff. So I really enjoyed this book. And then in the beginning days, one of the first series I did was Abby and the Boy Next Door. But the second one in that series, Abby and the Boy Who Lied, was one of my favorites because I just love like the suspense and the twists and like the mystery and the like wondering. I don't know. It was a little bit different, I feel like, than a lot of your other
Yeah,
books, but
that was a very
I,
twisty book.
yeah, yeah, it was like almost scary. Like that one was hard for me to narrate, like the Mexican accents and things like that. Um, but it was a really good book. And then my last one would be The Curvy Girls All Grown Up, because obviously, like I said, I'm older now. And so to be able to like see how it all came together for them at the end and like have the different adult scenarios that they were going through was really cool too.
Oh yeah, all the feels in that one too.
Mhm. Yes.
That's cool. Okay, so Patrick, this was your first Kelsey book.
Mm.
How do you like being a part of the Curvy Girl Club?
It's awesome. I did a lot, like, did some projects and stuff that you're really proud of, but this one I was like, I need to have people either read and listen to this because it's really a good read slash story. Um, and I couldn't like, I kept running downstairs after recording and I update my wife on what was going on in the book, and she's like, I
Fun.
think I might need to read this. I was like, please do, or just listen to it since
Yeah,
we're
listen to
working.
it.
Just listen to it. But it was like it's something I'm really proud of. So, and I appreciate you guys being so welcoming and everything for me. So,
Awesome. Yeah, it was so great to have both of you on the project. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions come through. So, can you let us know where we can find you on the web or social media so we can follow other books that you narrate?
I am on Amazon and Audible. I think if you just type my name in, all the books and things will come up. But then I also have a Facebook page called Audio by Courtney. I'm really bad about posting what I'm doing. So it's always like, every time I post, I'm usually like, it's been a while, I'm going to try to do better. And then it's like 10 months later, it's been a while, I'm going to try to do better. But
guess.
I am trying to like share my journey on that page as well.
Very cool.
awesome. I'm on TikTok and Instagram mostly under Jean-Jacques voiceovers. Just random funny reels and TikToks that I post. And then LinkedIn's my other one, but yeah, TikTok and Instagram are the two I'm most active on.
Very cool. Okay, and Sally's dropping this in the comments so that we can all find you.
Thank you.
'Cause I know a lot of my readers have jobs during the day that don't
Mhm.
allow them to listen. So we'll come back to the comments too. And if anyone has questions, I'll reach out to y'all and see if we can come up with an answer.
Sure.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This was so fun just to like meet with you face to face because we're always like emailing back and forth. And thank you so, so much for helping bring Point Guards to life because it is just so fun to like, write something and see what people can do with it when, they're talented and motivated. So I really appreciate you both.
Well, thank you so much for allowing us to have the honor
Thank
of
you.
performing it for you and being part of it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a
Thank you
pleasure.
thank you for allowing me to bring these character to life. And yeah, I really appreciate it. So,
Yeah, of course. Okay, well, we will see y'all later. I'll pause and then we can chat a little bit after we hop off.
okay.